We are aware that there are landscape architects and designers who want to label clumps of plants in a much simpler way than we normally do in the gCADPlus environment, which is aimed normally at working with quite small zones. Here's an example of a massive zone, lots of planting, the sort of thing you might see in an open reserve in a city where there are literally thousands of individual plants. And for that, we provide you under the gCADPlus drop-down menu, I'll just say no for the moment, with a broad-scale planting group of commands. So if I wanted to label a group of symbols, the symbols are already in and I'll show you how to get those in a moment. I would pick up a plant list. This is just the standard gCADPlus plant list, and if I wanted to put the native hibiscus in and tag it in a group or a clump, I'd say OK, and down in the status line I'm asked for what tagging type. Am I going to have a series of tags like you see for this particular species where there are 5 examples of it? Well, I'll hit enter and say yes, I'm going to do that sort of tagging, and I simply pick the symbols that we're going to use, hit enter, and I'm asked for the position of the label text. So I'll click there and then I'll hit 250 and unselect all. So what that's done is taken that simple symbol and said we're now going to have 3 examples of it in that zone. So the symbols are drawn from the library and from broadscale, so there is a restricted set there. A new large shrub we could bring in and say insert into the drawing and bring it in like so. So there's our new large shrub, and we could copy that. Imagine that we're planting a copse of these species, and even though this group down through here has been labelled for CIQI and the same symbols being used, we could label that group and pick up a different species. So let's illustrate broad scale planting, label a group of symbols. We'll say that's going to be a miniature Acacia cognata, rather a silly example in broad scale planting, but we'll OK that. We're going to give multiple tag, selecting the symbol 1, 2, 3. You pick them in the order that you want the line to join, then hit enter and the label in here 250 goes in, and unselect all. So there's Acacia cognata indicated in that particular group. So we've given you a restricted set of symbols to use for broad scale planting. You could of course add to them, there's no difficulty at all, and then the planting schedule can be generated really very easily. So let's do that. gCADPlus, remember we've edited and added to it, so it's going to be different to the existing one that's sitting there, and draw the schedule of plants. We'll say draw a new schedule up here and the second point there, and let's zoom in. So there's Acacia cognata mini cog, one of those, and the limelight one that we just put in was 5. Yes, of course, I'm just checking for it, and it's the last one that went in. So you can see handling broad scale landscape planting in gCADPlus is in many ways simpler than the sort of planting schedule that we've been illustrating using the gCADPlus plant schedules and lists.